Good morning. Great. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our November 4th council meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order and start off with the land acknowledgements. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nation. Which includes Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Brahma, Lake, and Georgina Island First Nations. The Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaties First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure health and integrity for generations to come. With that, I'll move into a moment of silent reflection for council and staff to quietly reflect on our duty to the community that we represent. Thank you. Right then, after one, make sure your cell phones are off, or place on vibrate so it doesn't disturb the meeting. And I'll remind council of the declaration of pecuniary interest. If it arises, you can declare it then. We have minutes here from the regular council meeting from October 21st. In order, I'll look for a motion as you read those minutes. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Clement. All in favor, and that's carried. All right, so we're going to move right into delegations, and the first delegation here is Logic. Director of Human Resources and Business Growth. Welcome, Amanda. That's Marina. Okay, so Marina, you're going to take it over.
Good morning. Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to share my screen. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So along with the full employee staff compensation and pay equity review that we did over the last couple months, we also looked over council remuneration. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. It shouldn't take very long. I'm just going to go through our methodology, our findings, and then what the plans would be to move forward. So the main objective is to identify and assess Havelock-Belmont-Methuen's council remuneration practices, including associated allowances and stipends to ensure transparency, equity, and consistency with comparable municipalities and townships. This review will help confirm that council members are fairly compensated for their time, their responsibilities, and the commitment they make to serving their community, while also providing residents and the community with clear and transparent information regarding their elected officials' compensation relative to those neighboring jurisdictions. So we identified 11 townships and municipalities based on a previous review done in 2022, which included the following townships and municipalities. The information gathered provided a market base to compare Havelock-Belmont-Methuen's council remuneration and their additional allowances provided. So these 11 townships and municipalities were Bancroft, Centre Hastings, Otonabee, South Monaghan, Duro Dummer, Cavan Monaghan, Asphodel Norwood, Huron Kinloss, Tweed, North Kawartha, Selwyn, and Trent Lakes. So our findings, our key findings for the mayor. You can see here we have all of our comparators and the comparator average salary or remuneration for the mayor position. And the above or below is where Havelock-Belmont-Methuen sits in comparison to those. So you'll notice on the left-hand side, we have the average of the comparator remuneration, and then the average of where Havelock sits. We also then have compared it against the median. So this would be the 50th percentile of these 11 townships and municipalities, and then where Havelock sits compared to that. So you'll notice there's a bit of a discrepancy based on the average and the median, but we wanted to provide both so you can get a better sense of where you would like to plan for moving forward, how to allocate those funds moving forward. It's also important to note that when we do present the full staff compensation review, pay equity, and that further information, that will also help to inform what the strategy for Havelock moving forward is, paying to which percentile, and what's the target moving forward. That can help inform what we do with council as well. And then for our deputy mayor, we have, again, the same information. You'll notice the deputy mayor here is much higher in percentage, compared to the comparator group. We note anything above 5% or below -5% is worth note and worth adjustment. So you'll see here the average and the median comparisons don't look very different. However, the average percentage above is a 3% difference between the average and the median. And should you go with the average, you'll be almost a 10% above the average comparator, and the median you'll be just below a 7%. So that being above a 5% difference is, like I said, worth note, worth adjustment. And then for the counselors, you'll notice here as well, Havelock is positioned well above the average as well as the median comparator group, which is great to know. It sets you up in a really good position moving forward that other townships and other municipalities that are also doing a remuneration review will be noticed in where they sit compared to Havelock. So it's really good information to have that you are sitting in a very competitive space. So I will also mention that I am doing a few other township and municipal council remuneration reviews. And as such, Havelock will be a comparator and a competitor in noting where they sit compared to where Havelock is. So that's a really good position. And then we also looked at additional allowances. So to fully support council members in effectively carrying out their duties, I was informed you were given a monthly cell phone and internet stipend of $70. This allowance was intended to help offset costs associated with maintaining reliable communication and connectivity, which are essential for staying informed, responding to residents, participating in virtual meetings should you not be able to attend in person, and any extra correspondence related to township business. In addition, a mileage reimbursement is provided for any travel, and this follows the CRA guideline, which is 72 cents per kilometer. Mileage applies to travel outside of township boundaries, and the reimbursable distance, is calculated from either the councilor's residence or township office, whichever is the shorter distance. This ensures fairness and consistency across all members of council. So you'll see here that the cost of Havelock is in our cost column, and then the average comparators is in the average column. So you'll note that the average for mileage is following CRA guidelines, which is great. It really allows everyone across the board to be consistent and fair and equitable. The cell phone and internet stipend is slightly lower than the average at $75 per month. And then for any conferences or workshops or car allowance is only granted in, I believe, one township. So it's not worth an average note because it's not an average across all of the 11 townships that we provided. However, I did want to make that clear so that that was transparent. And then for any conferences or workshops, there is an average across the group of 11 townships of a per diem paid for up to 3 conferences per year at a max of $150 each. So that is, those are all my findings and the process that we took. Thank you for listening and participating in this. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to discuss, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you, Marina. And yeah, this is always one of those things that's hard for council to deal with. And
Yeah.
over the years, normally any changes that would happen would go for the next term of council. So
Yeah.
any benefiting or anything like that, it would be you have to get elected together. So anyways, I'll open up to council. If you have any questions, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for the presentation. Just more of a question around some of the comments you made. When you're referencing the pay for the deputy mayor, you made comments that at 9.8%, 6.8% median, that would be up for adjustment. Then when we move to the councillors, the increase is 18.1, and you said that we sat just in perfect position. So could you maybe explain that analysis?
Sure, yeah. So sorry, what I meant was if you are below the 5% difference or the comparators were above, that would be an adjustment required. So if you sit above the 5%, my apologies, I misspoke there. Because you sit above a 5%, there isn't a need for adjustment. If you were to sit below the 5%, that's where we then advise adjustment. So sorry, that's what I meant there, is because you are above a 5% in both of these categories here, the average and the median, you sit in a more competitive spot. If you were to sit below, so if you were to be at a 2% or a 3%, then we would advise the adjustment there. My apologies.
No problem. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Any other questions for Marina?
I have one, if nobody
Okay, go ahead.
else doesn't. Marina, if you could just clarify the per diem for conferences, is that $150 per day, or is that $150 per conference, or what is that?
No. So that would be $150 per conference. Any additional fees or meals or anything like that, that would be for that for the total.
Per conference.
Per conference, yes. Not per day of the conference, per conference.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? All right, then for today, I think it's just a motion to receive the delegation, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. So thank you, Marina.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is staff reports for information, and we have a report here from our treasurer, Lionel Town, with regards to update on capital projects. So, is there any questions for Lionel with regard to report information?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, not really a question, more of a comment, just like to thank Lionel for all the staff that contributed to this report. That makes it a lot easier moving into the budget process, knowing what we've done and what we haven't done. I just thought, and I'll bring it up here. The thing I was going to say is I thought there was a few things on here that were listed as not started yet that we have started. So I was just wondering, and of course I don't have a specific example, but maybe staff could go back and look, because I thought I identified at least maybe 2 or 3 ones there that we're not way down the road, but we have started the process. So I don't know.
Okay, I think it's a snapshot of a time that there is still projects being done, but Lionel, if you can.
Through you, Chair. So when this was drafted, this report, this is what was provided, reflected the amount of data provided at the time, as the mayor said. So it could be indicative of things that happened since then, or perhaps there's an item or two that wasn't updated in the notes column, but it would be essentially where we were at right at the end of that quarter.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions for Lionel? Go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin, I can certainly give an example of that. One of the items listed on the chart that says not started yet, but did get started after this was printed was the AV council chamber. We have had a supplier come in and review our system, and they're in the process of quoting us on a new system.
Great. No other questions. I'll look for a motion to receive the information. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Summit. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, next on the agenda is staff report for follow-up action and economic development. Sherry Gutsack, development and strategic plans.
Mayor Martin, Council. West, we move forward with the strategic imperative and deliverable under our STAT plan, which is to update our economic development and tourism strategic plan. The first thing was to review our current plan, which is 1 year past due, concerning it's a 5-year plan. It was issued in 2019. We took what were the objectives, reviewed them, and then provided updates so that we could have a sense for how many of the items fall within the various categories. We've shared this particular document with our Economic Development Committee. We received great feedback in terms of ways in which we might be able to enhance this that will help to inform the new plan, which is to include a risk register, which is to take a look at some of the items that we haven't moved on and are there risks inherent to those? And if so, at what level? Also, we have performance measure and objectives. We didn't include that in the review, but the next iteration of this report will include those as well. So you could have a look at that.
Okay. All right, any questions for Sherry?
Yeah, not really a question, just a comment. Thank very much to the economic development officer for this. As she referenced, this is more of a prelude in terms of moving into budget. So I think there will be an ask from ECDev in terms of budget for some money to go out for this, the new economic development and tourism strategy, which we like obviously to get done ASAP so we can sync up with our strat plan. So, and as Sherry referenced, we're already kind of about 6 months behind. So if we could get moved, there's no use of us doing a ECDev plan a year or two from now if our strat plan is going to run out a year or 2 or 3 years from now. So it'd be nice if we could sync them up. So I just wanted council to be aware of that, have the information from.
Okay, other questions? Go ahead, Kathy.
So through you, Mayor Martin. One question, Sherry. We were both at the same seminar. When you're looking at the properties for future development, there was an exercise you could do where you, do you remember that? Has that been part of this?
So there is an exercise that takes place with the official plan review.
Okay.
So within the official plan, we have the areas that are already deemed to be targeted under the settlement expansion and future development. So we have that. It really is that work that has to be done, as well as looking at opportunities for further expansion and opportunities where we have to approach businesses or property owners to see if they would be interested. Yes, there's a whole process to review if they make sense for us, but also make sense for the local businesses. And we've shared that as part of an inventory that our economic development partners at the county level would have access to, or would look to the 8 townships and 2 First Nations if business needs come through. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're doing that with our staff in terms of identifying it at a municipal level, but I know the county has also done that at the county level. So there are certain properties that have identified. I don't think that was shared at the ECDev meeting, but moving into the future, we will be going down that road in terms of identifying these properties that are up for development, whether it be housing development, industrial development, whatever the case may be.
So through you, Mayor. One thing that sort of surprising we were at the conference, I think it's less than 3% of your actual available land. You know,
Okay,
it's very small, so I was quite surprised, but that's good information, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Terry? So for today, I guess it's just receive this report and you know, and if there's anything to provide economic development, forward it to them. So-
yeah, yes, oh, sorry, once again. And that's kind of why it was sent out to council there a week or two ago. So yeah, we're always looking for comments. This is obviously gonna be an ongoing process, won't be completed till probably obviously after the budget. So any comments or ideas from council members, please let us know, because we'd like to get them. Everybody's insights put into this new plan, so.
All right, so motion to receive the report. Moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Flagler, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the next item on here is well, Ryan, and I think you're gonna bring a report forward here with regards to the Connecting Link program. You got help with you?
Sure do.
For you there, Martin.
John,
Can we introduce?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
John Sales with Engage Engineering. Peter is away this week and has requested that I come in and a little support here. So staff is requesting through the Connecting Links program, there's a requirement for a council resolution. And the staff is asking for that council resolution. So the Connecting Link application is due November 13th. And it's for the 2026-2027 program. We are asking through the application funding to complete CCTV of the existing sanitary and storm on the Connecting Link, the 2 kilometers of it, and then through that CCTV inspection, identifying and repairing any deficiencies, and then remove and replace the surface asphalt. This will provide a 15-year life extension to the Connecting Link. And the program is a 90-10, 90%, 10% grant. So we through the submission are asking for 2.5 million. The township's portion of that would be 10%, 250,000 plus the non-recoverable taxes of 1.76% for a total of 254,400.
okay. All right, so anything to do with the Connecting Link, if there is monies out there, we like to always take advantage of it, especially for something as important as this, so. What council said?
I just make a motion, let everybody else comment, but I'll make a motion that we, the recommendation.
Okay, so it's moved by the deputy mayor. Do you have a seconder for it? Second by Councillor Clement. So is there any questions or comments around the motion? Go ahead.
I have a question. Is this gonna fix the problem that we have at the lights right now, or is this doing something else to Highway 7?
This is removing the surface asphalt and placing new asphalt.
So this has nothing to do with the lights turning.
As a part of this, there is the battery backup for the traffic lights.
Right.
I believe that was completed before my involvement. I'm not too sure the specifics on that battery backup, but through that funding application, we allowed it for that.
So, okay, yeah, so the light situation is still ongoing with CP and MTO, so that's that'll be
That's a different, okay, so this is just for the highway. For whatever reason, we need to repave it?
The existing infrastructure, the sanitary, the force main, the water main are not considered to be in poor condition to do a full replacement, costing, several $1 million to do a full 2 kilometer road reconstruction. So this is more of a stopgap. It'll get us through 15 years, and then at that time, look at the infrastructure again and
Okay,
decide that.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, Councilor Doherty, go ahead.
Through your chair, maybe it's Ryan, did we not lift all this, the pipes 2 or 3 years ago and fix some of the infrastructure? Or is that, we doing the same thing again, or what did we do a couple years ago?
Sewer caps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The lids,
Yeah.
like
Just the lids?
yeah, they just, lifted the lids, yes.
So you don't have to raise the rest of the pipe, because the area just blew the lid up.
They just, the structure, they just fix the structure more or less on
Okay,
it.
so then not, at all, it won't have any, okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder. And call a question, all in favor of the motion? And that's carried. All right, so thank you guys.
Yeah.
We don't have any correspondence and no correspondence for information, so we're gonna move right into committee liaison report. Deputy Mayor Webb, county council update.
We'll have another meeting,
Yeah.
another meeting
Just our meeting.
meeting
So,
tomorrow,
Yeah.
that'll be about budget, so I should have a
Okay.
better update at our next week, last meeting, so November.
all right, then.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or what meeting is it that you're talking about?
I'm just gonna give the county council update
The
now.
county
Yeah,
council.
sorry, like I said, it was our last meeting as before
Okay,
our last county meeting, so I don't really have any.
Yeah, they're on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
Apologize.
gonna move into the activity reports and get back on to the service board.
Yeah, just the minutes, the previous, OPP detachment board meeting were there, and the agenda from our last meeting that was, October 27th. Are there, if there's any comments or questions? Not a lot new that come out of that. The one thing that did come out, I think I have to ask the CAO, but I'm not sure what the ask was for. It was 75 or 8,500 in terms of the cost for the police services board.
So the budget's there.
No, what our contribution was out of our budget last year.
I believe it was 75.
75, okay. So just so council's aware, there was a surplus in terms of the budget this year. We hopefully did well and didn't spend all the money, so there should be a rebate coming to each township somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000, and once the treasurer works out the exact number, as I said, we will be receiving a check back, so always nice to have that. That's hopefully moving forward. As I said, the ask will come down from 70 per year, so. Okay. Other things in there, if anybody's got any comments or questions, please. Fire away.
All right, so any questions for Art? If not, I'll look for motions to receive this report. Okay, moved by Councilor Clement. Second by Councilor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. All right, then, written notice of motion. I don't have anything before me. Is there any oral notice of motion for today's meeting? Come forward. Hearing none, we'll move into our business. And then the business here, basically it's the announcement of the Cordova Rink, the official opening for the Cordova Rink is on November 14th at 1 o'clock. So if anybody's available, come on up for that. It looks pretty nice. And then, as I said, at an earlier meeting, the first meeting of the month, I was going to bring forward the medical center to see if there's been any thought go into that. I've been looking around and giving it more thought and kind of breaking it down to two options as far as if we have the Smith Drive property over there, that there could be a possibility of looking at developing a medical center. If we could work around all of the issues with Peterborough Housing, that could be a bonus with Peterborough Housing if we did it the right way. Or the other option still on the table is the basement of the library to convert it over into a clinic of some sort. But that's all I've got right now. I really would like to see something move forward here before the end of the year as far as at least getting a location. And then following that, it would be easier to do drawings, but if anybody has a better idea, that's why I'm bringing this up at the first meeting of every month, is to give everybody an opportunity. These are the two places I've been looking at, and you know, if we wanted to go with a new medical center, the Smith Drive property is there, and we could work out some sort of a plan to develop something over there, or the basement of the library is still an option, and it's a lot cheaper option. But it's up to council in the end what we're going to do. We just have to do something. We've got a reserve sitting in there from the medical center sale, and it would be nice to get something moving here for people. So anyways, that's all it's on here for. If anybody's got any other ideas or suggestions, they're bringing forward.
So through you, Mayor Martin, have we had any more public input, like what they'd like ASAP, like?
Just through talking to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hadn't we discussed having a committee to work on
That's
this?
an option. We talked about it, but I haven't had that come forward yet, but so that is enough. Okay, Councillor Flagler.
Yes. Through you, Mayor Martin, I am for. I would like to see a medical center built here. I know that there are plans for it already for Smith Drive. I know you guys, that's fine. So I am for Smith Drive to get that up and running. I am not for a library. To redo the basement of that library, to me, it's a waste of money. It's something that will not last forever. And if by chance we do get a doctor that does want to come here, and I'm sure that we will have a doctor that will come here, I think the medical center on Smith Drive is the best option. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and just to be clear, we don't have any plans there right now. It's still Peterborough housing, but thank you for that.
That's wasn't what I meant, Jim. There was plans prior down by the
long-term care.
long-term care home, and I have seen them.
Yeah, that wasn't for Smith Drive. That was for the long-term care.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, and that's the kind of information we need. Is if Smith Drive is a choice for council, we could start moving, but we don't have a place right now. So any other?
And just to, though I agree in terms of my preference, 100%, definitely leaning heavily towards the Smith Drive option. It gives us more time. I think one thing I'd like to see us do is, I think we all want to have a medical center done, but for myself and everybody else, I think we all want to do it right and make sure that when we do bring it here, it's not a building that's half empty, or you know what I mean, that we end up having to cover the cost of through our taxpayers. So we got to make sure we have our plan together, what's going to go in this building, who's going to be paying for these things. But I think moving forward, like in terms of, you know, and what our community would want is, like, our community deserves the best, right? They're great people. So let's bring them something new, something affordable. Obviously, we're not going to break the budget here, but reworking the library, it's interesting and whatnot. But I mean, if we can do the Smith Drive, and maybe it doesn't pan out and we end up back in the library. But as of now, I think there's options moving forward, as you referenced, Mr. Mayor, possibly Peterborough housing. If not, I think we could do it on our own anyways. So that would be my option, is Smith Drive.
Thank you. And that's what I think, so my suggestion is for the first meeting in December, it'll be coming back again. And right now I've heard from you that we look at that option. And, you know, if that's, once we nail down a spot, it makes it easier to move along with the rest of the process, which is a huge process. You know, there's opportunities at Smith Drive. There's, you know, even as far as funding. So we need to look at it, but we need to get moving. We can't just keep sitting and talking about it. That's all I wanted. So it will come forward at the first meeting of December. And if you have anybody else has any suggestions, even before then, bring them to me. So, okay. All right. And then the next item on here is the shop local draw. Larry?
All righty, so this is our 12th and final shop local draw. You'll remember that we started May, and of course it ends in October. This particular 2-week cycle, we had 30 entries. That makes it 761 entries for the entire contest. This round, we had just shy of $1,900 in receipt value for a total campaign receipt value of $50,482.27. The top 3 businesses for this go around were number 1, Foodland, number 2, Home Hardware, and number 3, the Station Restaurant. The gift certificate, the 75 gift certificate this time out will go to Havelock Hardquest Auto Parts. So we've certainly covered our local businesses, I think. Who would like to make the draw?
Where is the help?
Jerry, Councillor Doherty, if you would. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, terrific. Kim Cooligan, Kim Cooligan won for her entry to the Station Restaurant. So Cooligan is spelled Cooligan. Kim Cooligan. This is her second win of the contest this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just put, I think Jerry's referenced in the past, but not this being the last draw of the year, we just want to say a thank you to all the patrons who took part in the Shop Local contest this year, and especially thank you to all the local businesses that help us set up in their business and collect the inserts. So thank you very much to everybody.
Okay, thank you. So we don't, next on the agenda is bylaws, and we don't have any bylaws here, so we do have one closed session item, so I'll be looking for motion to go into closed session. Held under section 239 2K. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second. Councillor Clement, all in favor? And that's carried. Bylaw for today.
Try that again.
Confirming bylaw, yeah. Kathy and Bev. And motion to adjourn, Hart and Jerry.